Officials for tonight's contest. Referee, Brian Landis. Umpire, David Mathias. Head linesman, Paul Hernandez. Line judge, Patrick Sandeman. Back judge, Mike Nature. On the box, Richard Weiner.
All right, we'd like to welcome everybody here to the Kern High Network. Rob Chavez. Well, my man, Kenny Calvin, right next to me. Local driller legend, local renegade legend, as we team up for this South Yosemite River League matchup between the Centennial Golden Hawks and the Stockdale Mustangs. A little hard for me to get that out. You know, us old heads, we're out here, used to the South Yosemite League, right. Even the Southeast and the Southwest. When we start throwing the rivers and the mountains and the horizons and the valleys and everything out there.
From sea to shining sea.
Sea to shining sea. As we look up at the harvest moon that's coming over the southern Sierra Mountains. It is a good night for football, isn't it, Kenny?
Absolutely, and it's a beautiful testament to what you just talked about. I just had a conversation about how small the South Yosemite League was when I was a player. Now we have situations where Stockdale and Centennial are the new veterans of the situation in the Kern High Network scheme of things as you think about how football has transitioned through the 2000s and the millennium. These are two of the most powerful teams from that era. So we can say this is somewhat of a historic matchup based on the fact that it's Stockdale versus Centennial. But we do have a brand new coach in Deron Mackey, one of my former players. It's always an honor to see my former players get an opportunity to put the whistle into action. And Coach Starrett and the Centennial Golden Hawks have a nice weapon in Jackson Santiago and a few other players that make them successful.
We got Richard Zamora on to kick off for Stockdale, and you mentioned Jackson Santiago verbally committed to Boston College, so hopefully we'll be seeing him play some ACC football on Saturdays and next season here. So here comes Zamora kicking from his own 40. It's going to be a short kick, taking it about the 11-yard line. That's number 11, Carson Eldridge. Eldridge takes a pass at 20, and he's going to get it down to about the 24-yard line, so about a 13-yard return after a 49-yard kick. And it's going to be first down and 10 from the 25-yard line for the Golden Hawks.
So for our viewers who haven't seen a lot of Centennial Golden Hawk football, they're a well-coached team that has a dynamic offense. They can beat you both ways, on the ground or through the air. But there's a kid that's wearing number 9 that we'll talk about a lot because he deserves that recognition and earned it. However, there's a lot of interior linemen that make this system special as well, and we'll talk about them and highlight some of them as Centennial Golden Hawks get going. First and 10, trips left.
So we got number 12, Adam Kopis, quarterback, senior, 6 foot 190, passes it out. And that looks like that is Santiago. Santiago's getting, and he fumbles the football. And this ball is live, and it is Stockdale football.
And he fumbled the football after an amazing stiff arm, broke one tackle, but great pursuit by the Stockdale defense. And they're talking about, hey, Coach Cal, we got some pursuit over here. It's a team game, not just one guy. Great example of that by that defense making a big play. 1 and out. How about that?
And it looks like number 22, Ben Spears, was the one that came up with that fumble recovery, the senior, 5'10", 165. So now Stockdale's going to have it first and 10 from the Centennial 35-yard line.
RC, one of the things I always said, leaving the sideline to my guys, 1 and out. It was a mantra for me. To see it happen, that's beautiful from a defensive-minded Mackey's defense.
So that's Coach Cal talking right there. Now we've got number 11 for Stockdale, quarterback out of the shotgun, Logan Goodspeed. Number 10, Colton Kaiser.
Wow, I mean, and you can tell Stockdale wasn't expecting it to be 1 and out because they got delay of game because they probably over there relaxing and still game planning about the drive, and they look up, and it's time to go out there and get to work. So first and 15 for the Mustangs. Shotgun spread set.
Just started. Only 21 seconds ticked off the clock. Kaiser out of the shotgun. And he hands the ball off to Pierce. Pierce right up the middle. He's going to gain about 4 yards, so he's going to get some of that back. Excuse me, that wasn't Pierce, that was Witten. Witten's a sophomore.
Picks up 5. Second down and 10.
And I'll tell you what, right over here, just out of the blue, looking at his receiving stats, he's got 134 receiving yards. So he's an all-purpose back. If you can see it, he's the number 3 leader, number 3 receiver on this team. So it's a good chunk of yards right there that's already picked up for Stockdale. 2nd and 11.
You know what makes
same handoff.
What makes that 164 yards so special is the fact that it's on 12 catches. You're averaging about 26 yards a catch. That's some pretty special work from a back. We'll see if he can be that efficient tonight.
So Witten with 213 yards on the ground. He loses one right there, so now it's 3rd and 12 from about the 37-yard line.
You know, and you got to think the same thing for the defense, Centennial's defense. They probably weren't ready to go initially, but you see they're doing a great job standing the test of times. Shotgun spread set.
We got somebody that jumped in the neutral zone. And right there we see a couple of quick mistakes by not Santiago. That was Ronan Sullivan. We were talking about Ronan before the game, senior 6'3", 220.
Yep, son of my former Renegade teammate, Eamon Sullivan.
So now we've got a 3rd and 6. Ball's at the 32-yard line.
He's pumped up, too. He's anxious to make a play for me. He came and gave me a huge hug and said, Kenny, I'm going to show out tonight.
So now we got Kaiser, looks towards the end zone. That ball's going to be picked off.
And guess who?
He's taking it out of the end zone. He's got a little bit of room down the sideline. And he's going to finally get pushed out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. That's number 7, Roland Myers.
Wow.
The junior went out and played center field on that one right over there and was able to get that pick back. Kind of an errant throw right there from your junior quarterback for Stockdale.
But how about the burst from the young DB to go and get it and catch it over the head and make the play for his defense? And you know that got me excited, seeing defenses make plays back-to-back in the first 2 drives of the game. 1st and 10 Golden Hawks. We in for a barn burner, partner.
Defense is showing out already. I know Coach Cal likes to see that.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the things that we had was right there, Myers caught that ball at about the 4-yard line, reversed back into the end zone, so he knew he had to get out of there to be able to get out, and he ends up picking up 45 more yards. His pass is complete out to the left to Carson Elridge. Elridge gets the ball up to about the 50-yard line, so it's going to be a gain of 6.
Yeah, and that's a nice job by that slot back getting that block to help that screen develop, because this Stockdale Mustang defense is flying around right now. Just the energy level they've had through their first 2 plays, looking very impressive.
And what I like is, we talked about this over at the Miramonte Kern Valley game, at the youth movement that's going on. We see a lot of sophomores and freshmen playing significant roles right there. Elmo Witten is the safety for Stockdale, and he made the tackle on that last play. We've got a penalty for, it looks like an offsides penalty against Stockdale. So this is going to be a first down for the Golden Hawks. Ball's going to be placed at the Mustang 45-yard line. But Elmo Witten already, again, the leader in all-purpose yards for the Mustangs, and also playing free safety out there for the Mustangs.
Yeah, it's Witten all over his face that he came to play. Let me get that out the way early. Pistol spread set.
So Kopis out of the shotgun.
Oh,
and he's rushed.
Pressure.
Gets wrapped up the first time, breaks the first tackle. He's finally going to get wrestled down. Looks like number 13 for Stockdale was the one that comes up with that tackle, or that sack, as Logan Gonzalez. He's going to bring the ball back to the 50-yard lines for a loss of 5. We had an official's timeout.
And partner, right there is another example of how we talked about the energy level of Stockdale's defense. Even though it was a 5-yard gain on that screenplay a few downs ago, they're getting 5 and 6 guys to the ball in a lightning quick fashion. So right now seems to be giving this offense problems.
So Kopis out of the shotgun with Mendoza right lined up behind him. Rolls to his right. He's got pressure in his face, gets it out. And it's incomplete for Mendoza, and a big rush right there. That was good speed coming in and getting that pressure on him. And I can tell you what, this Stockdale defense is able to get a push on a very impressive Centennial offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, it's been very impressive. They don't have the height, size, and weight for good speed, but that was a huge hit in the backfield that disrupted that pass, and now Centennial finds himself in the 3rd and 15.
Looking right down the 50-yard line, you see left tackle Grayson Lee, junior 6'6", 272. But good speed's on the left side, so he had a chance to avoid big lead, and he got that pressure, and an incomplete pass. It was 3rd and 15 from the 50. Kopis looks like he's got a man.
Screen. And he's got a
and there he's go. He's got number 7, Roland Myers. Myers got a block. And there's the touchdown for the Golden Hawks. And a big block at the 5-yard line by Mendoza.
Oh, my goodness. The block by Mendoza was a huge block, a decleater. But how about the play call by Centennial, taking advantage of that aggressive flying around defense that we talked about? That's the only way you're going to beat a defense like that, and that's a fantastic play call by Coach Storette.
And I got to make a correction on that. That was number 21, Angel Lozano, the senior running back, who got all the way downfield. I mean, that was a 45-yard run that he had to go and get that block. And the extra point is good for the Golden Hawks. We're going to take a timeout here on the Current High Network. 7:52 remaining in the first quarter. Golden Hawks go up 7 over the Stockdale Mustangs.
We are these fields. We are these roots. We see the beauty in the everyday, with pride from where we came. We look ahead to the places that pull us together.
All right, and we are back here on the Current High Network. Rob Chavez and Kenny Calvin joining you live from Centennial High School, where the Golden Hawks taking a 7-0 lead over the Mustangs. We're going to kick off. It's going to be back into the end zone for a touchback. And while we got a little bit of time, we want to thank the Centennial High School administration, led by Principal Ryan Coleman. The AP of Instruction is Carrie Palacios. The AP of Administration is Nicole Oliver. The Athletics Director is my man Tom Haskell, the Moose member himself from the Moose Lodge in Pismo Beach. And the Activities Director is Jana Chapman. Also, a special thank you to Stan Green, the Kern High School District Superintendents. And our sponsors have Valley Strong Credit Union for allowing us to put on events like this for our community. Now, we were talking about the fact that it's kind of weird to hear that Centennial has their alumni association because they've been around for 30 years. Stockdale been around for 32. We got to end off with a big hit.
Are you serious?
Wow. Number 32 for the Golden Hawks, Braden Abicunas.
Talk about a deep leader. He picked him up, true form tackle, and drove him 3 dimensions down. Man, I didn't know this was going to be a defensive battle. I expected some quick screens and some fireworks, but this is some fantastic defense we're seeing through this first quarter.
Caden Elliott ran into an absolute wall of Golden Hawks, only showing a 30 front right now. Kopis handing the ball off this time, number 13, Logan Gonzalez on a jet sweep, and that jet sweep goes nowhere. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. So we're going to have a 3rd and 11. It was going to be a loss of about a yard back to the 19.
You know, you see Stockdale playing some inspiring defense, didn't get a chance to do anything with that early turnover and turned it right back over. One thing we do know about Centennial is they have a balanced offense that finds a way to get going. So if you're a Stockdale team, you want to definitely try to get something early in this first quarter happening because you don't want the momentum to stay on Centennial's side as their offense can get rolling. You need this conversion. Trips open set for the Mustangs.
Officials officially moved the ball back to the 18-yard line, so now we've got a 3rd and 12. Kopis out of the shotgun, looks up top, and his pass is going to sail deep and incomplete. It was intended this time for number 3, Charles Young. senior tight end, and we're going to have a 4th down for the Mustangs, and the punting unit is coming out.
You know, it's nothing like great coverage to take the air out of a balloon. You know, the coverage by Gerard Vassoir was perfect, on top of everything, deep as the deepest, and being situationally aware, right, partner? I always talk about the importance of being a great player. Good players there's good players everywhere. Great players know what situations are coming and don't get beat by doing something dumb.
So we've got the punter, Preston Wright, runs off to his right, gets some space out, so this way he can get a good punt out. And I tell you, in that situation where he runs out to the right, it gives his return and his coverage guys to be able to get down there, gives Myers no opportunity to be able to make that return, gets the ball down to the Golden Hawk 42-yard line. It's a pretty good punt right there of about 40 yards.
Yeah, and you can expect a Mackey coach team to play field position football, and that was a fantastic punt. You know, and another reason you get that great coverage is because you're rolling, and guys need to make sure that you're going to kick that football, because we've seen those fakes where they might be setting you up for that later on down the line. 1st and 10, Centennial.
And we go back to the fact that both of these programs have been established for a while. Also, their Golden Empire program has been established for a while. So a lot of these guys have been playing since they were, 6, 7 years old against each other. So they're very familiar. As Jackson Santiago gets the ball up the middle, he's going to get about 5 yards up the middle. So it'll be 2nd down, about 5 yards.
And that's what's so beautiful about this offense is the fact that they find ways to get their special players in different positions to be effective. That's a nice 4-yard, 5-yard gain for Centennial, 2nd and 5.
Good job for the linebackers of Stockdale to be able to step up.
Trips open pistol formation against a 2-deep safety look. Looks like a 2-man look.
Now we got Santiago split alone to his left. Checks with the sideline.
And trust me, he's not alone. He's definitely going to have safety help over the top.
Copus looks over at Santiago. Santiago slides and catches the ball, and he's going to have a Golden Hawk 1st down. Quick slant right there. Pretty smart play.
And what I love about that play is that they're shading to Jackson. He has man coverage on him. He has a linebacker inside and a safety over the top because he's that good. And you still throw the quick slant. That was an amazing pass.
Nice pass right there, as you said it from Copus. So now we got first and 10 now from the Mustang 47-yard line. Motion man is Santiago. Copus fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, runs to his left. Now there's a penalty flag, typically right there. That is in the area of holding, so we'll see what this call is.
Yeah, it looks like they got the big fella, 61.
That's Grayson Lee.
Grayson Lee right on the inside and the impact point of that fake. And he definitely didn't need to hold in that moment based on the fact that Copus had already kept it and got a few yards.
Network right here.
Oh,
Pascal,
well,
for you guys.
Man, it's so special. We're getting taken care of.
Sir, only here at Centennial. Come here more.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I appreciate you coming.
They just blessed us with some pizza. Special thanks to the administration at Stockdale and Big Tom Haskell.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's good. Like I said, he's a Moose Lodge member. My folks out in Pismo Beach. My mom will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow with a lot of her people. I wonder if Tom's going to be out there. As we got Jackson Santiago out of motion. That was a holding penalty right there for the Golden Hawks. So it backs him up, and they give it to Santiago. Santiago's got a lot of space, and he runs right into a couple of Mustangs. Big hit right over there.
Man.
And like I said, you see that number 9 for Stockdale right there helping him up. That's Joaquin Witten. And like I said, you got to know that these guys have probably been playing against each other for a while. A lot of respect out there.
You know, I saw one of our former Golden Empire reps downstairs that I would assist with the cheerleading, special guests, and things like that. We laughed about how many of those players has transitioned to be stars. So a beautiful thing watching them transition. 2nd and 5.
So big chunk made up right there. It's about a 16-yard play. Scopus passed it once again to Santiago, and Santiago's going to have another Centennial 1st down. I mean, that's got to be a nice weapon for you to be able to have when you're back 1st and 21, and in 2 plays, you pick up 30 yards.
And you're doing it by catching this defense off guard. You see they want to do things quick, and they're flying around, so you have to be quicker. One-step screens, quick three-step drop curls. You can't hold the ball too long when a defense is flying around and causing turnovers early. So great job by Coach Tourette adjusting.
Let's go, Hawks.
So 1st and 10 for the Golden Hawks. Ball's at the 28-yard line for the Mustangs, and ball's handed off up the middle to Lozano. Lozano makes a great move to the outside, and he's finally going to be pushed out of bounds by number 8, Silas Orozco. And another first down. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Golden Hawks. And again, they're knocking on the door. In fact, it's going to be 1st and 10. The ball was spotted at the 11, so he went out of bounds just a little bit before the 10. Gives Centennial opportunity to pick up a first down if they want it, but you got to imagine they're probably going to be looking towards 6 here within the first couple of plays.
Yeah, that was an amazing move. Somebody's ankles got broke down there. Pistol spread formation.
Copa's pump fakes, and his pass is going to be incomplete. Was a great setup right there. Ball was just thrown a little bit too low.
You rarely see a hitch and go inside the red zone. That was a very rare play call. And we talked about the dynamic ability of Storette's play call, and that's a perfect example right there. Throwing a hitch and go at the 10-yard line. I'd hire this guy any day.
I love the hitch and go, too, when you hear the receiver.
Shotgun bunch, double set against a zone look.
Santiago back in the game after taking a breather on that first down play. And we've got another jet sweep. So that's number 7, Myers, and he's in the end zone for his second touchdown of the ball game.
You know, we gave a lot of credit to this Stockdale defense early and how they came out. They came out ready to play, but it looks like Centennial has found their rhythm, and that play call was amazing based on the blocking and the pulling of the left guard and tackle to get outside and get out front along with the backs. Fantastic design. I'm very impressed with Coach Tourette's offense and the Centennial Golden Hawks. 13-0, 2:45 to play on this Kern High Network broadcast, and the kick is up.
And it is good. So with 2:45 remaining in the first quarter, we're going to take another timeout here on the Kern High Network. Golden Hawks up 14-0 over the Mustangs. And we are back here. Oh, and an onside kick. Ball's loose. And I think Stockdale came up with it, but what a gutsy play right there for Centennial. They're trying to keep Mr. Momentum in a black jersey. Wow.
I'm sitting here bragging on Coach Tourette's offense, and he keeps getting better and better because he doesn't care about taking chances. I mean, you're up 14-0. This is a big game because Stockdale has earned some respect by beating some people they weren't expected to beat. And a lot of people thought that they were going to come in and do the same thing. Coach Tourette saying, not on my watch.
You know, there's a saying in sports, you're supposed to, go out and handle your business with the teams that you're supposed to beat. And that's exactly what Coach Tourette and Golden Hawks are looking to do right over here. But I guarantee you, Coach Mackey's going to have some sort of a game plan right over here. And as you can tell, we've already got a new quarterback over here out of the pistol with a keeper, and he brings it right up the middle for 3 yards.
Now, one of the toughest things for young teams, and I call it a young team based on a young coach, it's a momentum game. It's hard to keep momentum and energy level and morale up when bad things happen when you got young football teams. Hopefully their resilience can come through, but it takes a drive to get that done. They need a quality drive, or this is going to get ugly.
So Colton Kaiser is out. And in we got Witten, Elmo Witten. And he's got a nice little burst of speed, but we've got a penalty flag from the head referee, and it's going to be a holding against Stockdale, so that will come back. But at least what you like to see right over there with Elmo Witten is that little burst of speed as soon as he hit the corner.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell they have some weapons in place to get things done. It's all about execution and avoiding mistakes. Right there's a mistake, and you got the flag thrower of all flag throwers and Mr. Landis. You don't earn that white hat by not throwing flags. But all jokes aside, he's one of the best in the business, and you're not going to be able to sneak one in over on him.
No, he's got his head in that backfield almost as much as any pass rusher that you're going to see. So now we've got a second and about 15. Witten once again essentially out of the Wildcat.
And some viewers may be thinking, man, that's 3 straight quarterback draws. What are we doing for Stockdale? Well, if you remember, Coach Mackey also played on a West High team that had an amazing running back / quarterback named Ryan Matthews. He was the best player on the team. And sometimes you just got to put the ball in your best player's hand to start getting some momentum. So that's what I see out of trying to run that play. Unfortunately, it's not getting much push. They're going to have to find a way to stress this front 7 out because they're doing a great job, partner.
And that coach was another one of your Current High Network partners, Rich Cornford.
Coach Cornford. Shout out to Coach Cornford. True legend, former Baylor Bear. Long Park High legend. I love calling games with him because I'm the color commentator in most instances. But when I'm working with him, I'm the play-by-play guy because he's a football wizard beyond my knowledge as a player and coach as well. So I got to defer to the legends. I don't mind deferring to the legends.
Coach Corn, shout out. Well, we're going to get you a couple of scores here while we are in a timeout. Timeout was called by the Mustangs. Yesterday we had a lot of scores here, and I'm going to get to those. So yesterday, speaking of West High, they got beat yesterday by North. There was a battle of a 1-4 team against an 0-4 team, and North came out with their first win. Liberty put a hurt on Garces last night, 41-13 as well. So now we've got Kaiser back in the game, checking in.
We're going to have to get back to that one.
Out of the shotgun. Kaiser steps up. Flushed out of the pocket, running to his left, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds. Pursuit made by number 11, Carson Eldridge. Eldridge has already been all over the stat sheet tonight.
Yes,
and getting back to that Liberty game, like you were saying, that was played just down the road over at Liberty High School.
What's so interesting about that contest, and we're Current High Network, we're nonpartisan in any of it. There's a lot of talk that goes on between those games. You expect a lot better brand of football to be played if all that commentary is going to go into the week prior.
Yeah, we got a pump formation here. And backup quarterback for Stockdale is their punter, and he gets drilled. Preston Wright, he tried to do that last time, and I tell you what, the Golden Hawks had already game planned for that, being able to go to his right, and he didn't have anything to look at.
And that's a perfect adjustment by the defense because he wanted to kick the football. It wasn't a fake. He didn't have anywhere to kick it.
Big pursuit.
Great pursuit in coaching by sliding that rush to the left, and that was just an amazing job and a horrible mistake by a Mustang team to turn the ball over on the 30-yard line.
So all 3 phases of the game being played pretty well here so far tonight from Centennial, minus the one mistake down over here with Jackson Santiago on a really good hit and a good play by Stockdale.
Right.
Other than that, Centennial is firing on all cylinders with about 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and they've got 1st and 10 from the Mustang 31. Kopis looks to his left, has Myers. Myers is going to get the ball up to about the 25-yard line. It's going to be about a gain of 6-yard line. And now we've got whistles on the sideline over here, so it's going to stop the clock with about 5 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Yeah, when I was going back to that Liberty Garces game, my daughter now being a freshman over at Garces, we heard a lot of noise. That she said, and even as a freshman, she's very new to the high school scene, but even she knows that there was a lot of noise coming from both sides pregame Garces, being the private school, he has a big chip on their shoulder, being coached by a legend in town and Coach Paul Gola. So
recruiting their players.
There was a lot of that going into it. So we've got no time remaining, as that last whistle was for a sideline warning. So we're going to take a timeout here on the Current High Network as the end of the first quarter has come up. And the Centennial Golden Hawks have a 14-0 lead over the Stockdale Mustangs. You're listening and watching on the Current High Network.
We are these fields. We are these roots. We see the beauty in the everyday, with pride from where we came. We look ahead to the places that pull us together, to the places that we call home. A new chapter begins now. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union is now Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Visit valleystrong.com/grow to learn more.
Rob Chavez and Kenny Calvin as we get into the second quarter of this South Yosemite River League matchup between the Centennial Golden Hawks and the Stockdale Mustangs. Ball is going to be placed at about the 24-yard line. That was a pickup of 7 on that last play, so it'll be 2nd and 3. And we were getting back to some of these scores from last night. Arvin, it's a big win over Del Oro. Del Oro is taking their lumps. No seniors on that team. Brand new coach. So they're going to take their lumps here throughout the Horizon League. Miramonte lost to Golden Valley last night. Golden Valley is starting to fire on all cylinders before they get their matchup with Arvin a little bit later on.
Coach K.
And Chavez squeaks out a win in Delano against Delano. So Delano dropping 2 heartbreakers. As now we got Copus, looks up into the end zone, and that ball is nearly intercepted. That was number 22 back there once again, Ben Spears, who had that fumble recovery after Jackson Santiago coughed up the football in the first quarter.
And Spears is a baller. You see how he attacked the ball at the highest point. That's how you know a guy is ready to play and trying to go and get it. Got to come down with that, though, because that would have been big if they could have got that turnover. Right now it's 3rd and 4, and I think this is 4-down territory as well.
11:53 and counting. Ball's passed off to Myers, and Myers is just wide open. He found a soft spot in the defensive backfield, and it's going to be first down for the Golden Hawks at the 12-yard line.
And there's a situation where you got to challenge your defensive back to tighten up their splits. And what I mean by their distance away from the receiver. You're playing too deep because you're scared of these deep balls, but they're continuing to hit you for 5 yards in a cloud of dust underneath. You got to challenge your guys to get in their face and play some coverage.
Well, 1st and 10 from the 12. Copus looks left, quick pass. Ball's caught. We got about a 3-yard pickup. So a little dinking and dunking as we get down inside the 10-yard line.
And that's their game plan. It's more of a read. It's more of a read route for the slot guy. If this DB is more than 8 yards off of you, curl up. If he's tightened on you, you're going to take it and run a fade. That's what makes playing defensive back so tough. He has 3 routes he can run based on the coverage you're displaying.
So Brogan Sauer actually picked up about 5 on that play. So it's down to the 8, 2nd and 5. And like you said, gives a lot of options for this offense right over here. As a fake right there, Copus keeps the ball, and he's inside the 5-yard line. Fantastic keep right there. That was just a little read option.
Yeah, fantastic keep, but also amazing job by Stockdale's defense being ready for it because it caught me off guard. I thought it was going to be a touchdown.
And we didn't see who checked in, and that was actually Jet Santiago, younger brother of Jackson Santiago. And you talked to Dad Hernan, the freight train. What did he say about Jet?
Well, my Renegade team captain and one of the greatest players I ever lined up alongside told me that his younger son might be the best football player in the whole family.
So now you give us to number 11, Carson Elridge. Elridge is in for the touchdown.
The Golden Hawks. are flying and soaring in this first part of this football game. And it's ironic based on the fact that it started with a huge impact play from a Stockdale defense, but they weren't able to capitalize offensively, and I think that's the difference. Both defenses look okay. That defense doesn't look horrible right now, but it's the fact that the Centennial offense has found a way to continue to move the football, and that's the difference in the first quarter or second quarter.
So that was actually that was good. The extra point right there, 9:53 remaining. And like you said, give credit to these defenses out there. Just the problem is that the Stockdale offense hasn't been able to stay on the field as long, and that works in the disadvantage of their defense.
Right, because a lot of people would look at this score and say, man, the defense must be struggling. It's 21-0. How can this happen so early? Well, it happens when your offense can't move the chains. Me and you experienced that as broadcasters your first year last year. You know, we had a phenomenal defense up on the hill for our Renegades. Unfortunately, we weren't able to convert on third downs, and we turned the ball over all the time. It didn't matter how good our defense was. We ended up 4-6. You have to play balanced football in three phases of football. Me and you highlight that every week. And it's important for our viewers to understand that so you shift the blame in the right places as a fan.
And as you mentioned, the Renegades, they're at home tomorrow against El Camino, one win away from matching the amount of wins that they had all of last year. It'll be good to see a lot of you guys joining us up on the Palace at Panorama, as Kenny calls it, is looking to for the Renegades to get a little bit of retribution from last year's loss to El Camino.
Want to know one of the first times I ever called the Palace on Panorama? My partner's from Brooklyn. I was taking them on a tour of the city, and everything around was looking like dust until they saw the Palace on Panorama. They were like, oh, this is nice, kid. You dang right.
That's right. One of the greatest facilities in the United States for a junior college. As the ball is handed off to number 25 for Stockdale. That's Emmanuel Sanchez. Sanchez takes the ball up to about the 24-yard line, so it's a gain of 4 and a 2nd and 6. Hopefully we're going to get to see some of these guys playing on Saturdays up at the Palace.
Oh, I'm sure we're going to have a few Golden Hawks up there. But one of the things I want to make sure we focus on right now is 2nd and 6 for Stockdale. One of the things Stockdale doesn't want to do is rush these situations trying to get back into a football game, because as you do that and you're not able to move it, you're giving the ball away in too much time. So they're being patient and trying to figure out how they can move these sticks. High snap.
High snap. Brought down by Kaiser, giving the ball off to Elmo Witten. Witten is close to a first down. He's going to get a little bit of help from his offensive line. And the line judge is going to give the Mustangs a first down. So this will be only the second first down of the game so far for the Mustangs. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line.
Wow. They got the first down, and that's how you got to get it. You got to get the tough, gritty opportunities to convert. I like them slowing down the game.
One thing you notice, too, about the Centennial defense, as we got number 13 for Stockdale, gets the ball up about 2 yards. That's number 13, Logan Gonzalez.
If you look out at about the 40-yard line, there was a huge, big number 74, 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, blocking downfield at the third level of the defense. That's how you get things done if you want to get back in the football game. Kudos to Big 74 of Stockdale.
74 Stockdale, Joseph Martin. As there's only a gain of 1, so 2nd down and 9 from the 31-yard line. Ball is handed off to Witten, and Witten brings it right up the middle to about the 36-yard line, so a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Mustangs. The Mustangs are starting to show a little bit of movement here, but this is where you said it a little bit earlier. This is what's going to make it for this Stockdale Mustang defense is for them to be able to convert right here.
It's almost like, guys, can I get a break? I remember saying that to some of my offenses in college in Arkansas because we're playing great defense.
Oh, and Elmo Witten, what a great fight right there to be able to surge past the sticks and get that first down. Wow, that's an amazing play right there from that sophomore.
Amazing effort. And they're waving them on, so another first down, and we talked about getting the tough, gritty yards.
Hard hitting Elmo Witten.
Hard hitting Elmo Witten. That sounds like $1 million name.
I gotta admit, I kind of stole it. Anybody ever remembers 1990s baseball, St. Louis Cardinals, hard hitting Mark Witten.
There you go.
So we got a little bit of movement there for Stockdale, and we're going to get a penalty for a false start against Stockdale. New quarterback for the Mustangs is number 17, Christian Dalton. Dalton's cutting a tall figure out there as he goes over and checks with Coach Mackey.
And as you change quarterbacks, you change cadences. Linemen are used to hearing one voice. You change that voice, it changes the timing. That's where those false start penalties come from, 1st and 15.
So, Dalton out there looking a little bit more kind of like a Cam Newton, because he's taller than any one of his linemen right there. Is his inside handoff to the fullback, and that's going to go nowhere. Actually, they'll give him a yard on that.
Great play made inside by that interior defense of the Golden Hawks. We haven't talked about them enough. You know, we come in and you spend so much time talking about their premier players who have already signed for scholarships that you forget that this is a quality football team inside and out. And that defense in that front seven is showing you that.
Tell you what, once again, Coach Eric Duncan, if you're listening, that's big number 77, Carter Fahey, the nose guard for Centennial that plugged that hole right there. As now we've got Dalton, who is pressured, and he is sacked. Big sack, and now we've got a penalty. And this looks like this is going to be unsportsmanlike right over there. That's Jaden Torres, one of the captains for the Golden Hawks, and that's probably going to be a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. You just can't do that. What he did was he made a gesture with that thumb across his neck. So that's one of those automatics that you just can't do these days.
Yeah, and it's something that puts your team in a tough position because you're a second away from putting this game into a running clock situation within the next couple of scores. But you make it about yourself on an individual play. You can't do that. It costs this team 15, and you give a team life.
So instead of about third and 27, we've got now a 3rd and 12. So it's a very makeable third down right over here. As Centennial shows a 40 front right now, they've got 9 in the box. As Dalton rolls to his left, looks up, and his pass is incomplete. That was intended for number 11, Logan Goodspeed. And now we've got a flag.
Somebody's early.
It might have been, and I thought about I was thinking about that. It looked like the safety came up, made the hit right about the same time that the ball was there. And the one guy that Dalton's reminded me of, and I just thought of it, Jason Campbell from Auburn.
I was just about to say Jason Campbell.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you this. That throw looked Jason Campbell-esque.
It did.
From his college days.
And that is a pass interference and a first down for the Mustangs, and another first down in this drive right over here. So we've got 3 first downs in this drive alone, and before that only had 1 on the night. So we seen this last week in Antelope Valley, where Antelope Valley was struggling against the Renegades defense, and finally look at that.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Still pushing.
Again, hard hitting Elmo Witten. You're not tickling that guy, I tell you what.
But I'll tell you what, the blocking at the 3rd level for that Stockdale offense is inspiring, because that's the second time this drive you're seeing single blocks, double team blocks at the 3rd level. that's getting those long runs. You don't get 6 and 7 yard runs like that unless you get into the linebackers and safeties.
One guy you do not see on the line right now is Jackson Santiago, number 9. He is second on the team in sacks, third in tackles, and the guy that is replacing him is number 10, Ronan Sullivan, your guy. And he just jumped off sides right over there, and guess what that's going to be? Another Mustang first down.
And that's his second one of the day, of the night so far. I talked about him being excited. Right now, you need Coach to come and talk to you and say, hey, I know you're excited. I know you want to make the play, but take a deep breath, focus. Sometimes we talk about how sometimes it's total chaos and noise around you, but the greatest players find a way to find silence and focus.
So we've got a timeout for the Golden Hawks. That is their first timeout of the half. Stockdale looks like they've got no timeouts remaining, but that could be just a scoreboard error up there. Almost looks like they've got 9 up there. That's probably because they've got a bulb that's out. So, we got to contact the current high school district electricians.
No, that is a 9.
Get a work order in there. That's a 9.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they give 9 timeouts. Maybe it's a basketball scoreboard that they're using. And I don't know, have they used any of their 20-second timeouts?
I'm going to tell my wife, Shanti, she's not donating enough to the alumni fund. Well, no, let me not tell her that. She's going to ask me for the money.
And there he goes. It's payday. We know that. So we got a 2-yard pickup right there for Elmo Witten. And Witten, again, I tell you, we've had a lot of guys that we have seen this year alone, whether it's in the high school field or up at Memorial Stadium. The guys that go under 5'8", that are just going out there and playing their tails off.
I mean, we've seen it at the next level, too, with guys like Deuce Vaughn, Darren Sproles. It's all about the size of the fight.
Austin
and
Eckler.
The dog.
As Dalton has led this Stockdale offense to a few first downs, and Witten is bouncing out of grasp at the first level, getting to the second level with just a couple of jumps right at the line of scrimmage. He's finally taken down by number 3, Juan Serna.
And what I like about it, partner, is nothing pretty. It's hat on a hat, full house backfield. You know what's coming. Let's move forward. That's just hard. Amazing job by Stockdale. Character-defining drive with 3 minutes left, and we talked about the importance of keeping that offense on the sideline.
So we've got a manageable third down again, and so far just on this particular drive, they've converted twice on third down thanks to some untimely Centennial penalties. And so now Dalton is just going to keep the football, and I'll tell you what, the big fella gets to the outside, and he finally gets a first down, and there is a little extracurricular activity, and good thing Stockdale Mustang player is keeping cool, because that was about 20 yards down the field and slung out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's the team captain that's doing it, too. You can tell they're going after him. He slung him about 5 yards outside of the boundary. Maybe a little home cooking on that call.
Third straight third down conversion for a first down is Elmo Witten bouncing at the line of scrimmage once again, picking up about 3 yards. And I tell you, there's really nothing special or elaborate about this right here.
And I can tell Coach Mackey probably pulled his guys to the sideline and said, look, you embarrassing yourselves. Go out there, put a hat on a hat, move forward, and let's get a score on the board. And this is a 6-minute drive they're working on right now.
Number 44, Julian Becerra on that last tackle.
2nd and 7.
Ball at the 17-yard line. Hands the ball to Witten. Witten cuts back inside, and he runs right into Myers. But he picks up a yard. So now we're at a 3rd and 6 from the 16-yard line. What kind of player are we looking for right here with another third down conversion?
Well, when you know you're in 4-down territory, if you're a team that may not have a great kicking situation, you're probably going to continue to do what you've been doing and play smash mouth football. You don't want to get cute down here where it counts. when all you've done is just pound the ball and push the pavement. 3rd and 6.
So Dalton fumbles the football.
Fumbles the football.
Picked up. And, wow, he saved that right there. Number 25 was the ball that was handed off to Manuel Sanchez.
And we got a player down.
Partner. And that looks like he might have just caught one. He's a little writhing in pain right over there. He's still wiggling his legs. You like to see that he's moving his extremities. That could have just been something to where he got hit pretty hard in the chest or in the throat. So with 1:13 with this injury timeout, we're going to take a timeout right here on the Kern High Network. The Golden Hawks lead 21-0 over the Mustangs.
For 100 years, Bakersfield College has helped thousands of people achieve their dreams through education. Now Bakersfield College is bringing college closer to home, with courses offered in Southwest Bakersfield on Stockdale Highway, downtown Bakersfield, and at the main campus on Panorama Drive. Programs and classes also available in Delano, Shafter, Arvin, and online. Your path to a bright new future can start today at the home of the Renegades. It's easy. Take the first step. Visit bakersfieldcollege.edu to learn more.
All right, we are back here at the Kern High Network. Got some parents walking off the field. They went and checked on their injured son, who's now going to be carted off. And that's the Centennial Golden Hawk right there. And I'm looking through their roster right over here. It's number 32, Braden Abakunas, is a senior senior linebacker, 6'3", 200. And it's unfortunate when you see a young man, especially in his senior year, that's being taken off by the ambulance. And I want to send all of our best. Hopefully, Braden goes, gets cleared, and but more than anything, we just want to be able to make sure that young man is going to be okay in the long term.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the things that's tough when you're playing a good football game. You're up on a scoreboard. It's homecoming, and then the injuries come. Being a player that's been carried off the field before, I know the feeling. It's never something that feels good. But for Centennial, this is a very crucial juncture with this fourth down. Now you have a Stockdale team trying to figure out what they're going to do from this distance. I don't think that's a comfortable kick, partner. And
no.
You're down 21 points.
No, and down 21 points at a minute 13. Typically kicking into the wind, not necessarily a good idea, but you're within 20 yards. You'd like to think that your defense is going to be able to hold them, even if they don't convert on this. You'd like to think that they'd be able to hold them with 73 seconds to go, 81 yards ahead of them, that this is going to be something where they're going to look to at least get the first down right over, get towards the 10, and if they don't get it, they're inside the 15-yard line.
But this is exactly what you don't want for a Stockdale team that hasn't had any success throwing the football past 10 yards.
Here we go.
And now they're coming out in this shotgun set with 4th and 8.
So number 24, Caden Elliott, is the running back, lined up with Witten. And Witten looks up, and his pass is in the end zone. It is tipped, and it's caught! Touchdown!
Caught off
Stockdale!
Wow, talk about the luck of the draw. Great coverage by the Centennial defenders, and it's caught off the bounce.
Number 3, Charles Young, the senior tight end, was following that play, and the pass was intended for Goodspeed. Goodspeed had a little bit of glimmer, but 2 of the Golden Hawk defenders came up, separated the ball, and it just fell right into the hands of Charles Young.
Talk about the difference in a bounce. Because if that's incomplete, we got a 21-0 football game. And the Centennial team that's continuing to barrel down the hill. But that kick is up and kick is good.
And it is good. Preston Wright, And then we got a roughing the kicker penalty. So that means the kick is good. The penalty is going to be assessed on the kickoff. So, wow, what a turn of events right over here. And just recapping that, the Mustangs got the football with just under 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. We're looking at 52 seconds remaining. What did we see that was different in that drive?
What we saw was intelligence out of a young coaching staff, knowing that, hey, we can't beat these guys trying to spread the football out and play basketball on grass, as my late coach Jimmy Red Parker would call it. We have to get back to what we do best, put 3 full house backs in the backfield, put our best athlete at quarterback, and just run the football. And they ate up 7.5 minutes of clock on that drive and put themselves in a position at half to be in a winnable football game.
And again, this goes back to just 6 days ago, we were out at Lancaster and watched the Antelope Valley team that just kind of hung in there. The Renegades didn't do really anything special on offense, let them hang around, and as soon as the second half came, they made their adjustments and got out and had a chance to tie the football game.
Man, that's why it's important for teams that call themselves great teams or want to be great. You got to put teams down while they're down. 4th and 9, you can't allow that kind of play to happen. You got to make the play on the back end and the secondary. Yeah, it was a great job batting the football, but you got to catch those. We've seen 2 drop interceptions in the end zone by both teams. You got to make those plays if you want to make a difference.
So Ricardo Zamora with a short kick taken by an up back for Centennial, and the ball is going to be put at the 30. This is kind of interesting because now they're giving the ball back to the Golden Hawks. Yeah, there's only 47 seconds remaining, but rather than kicking it a little bit deep, playing the field position game, the ball's now at the 30. They really only had about, only 70 yards really to go to score a touchdown or put themselves in position with the wind at their back to be able to kick a field goal.
Right. Just as I was praising the coaching staff, they do something questionable from an aspect of you've kicked it deep very well all game. Why not kick it deep now and force them to go the length of the field? But now you put them in a position with a high-octane offense at the 30. This is 2-minute offense. They practice this every day.
And they had an extra 5 yards because of the running into the kicker penalty.
Right.
So they were kicking from the 45.
Right. So in those instances, a lot of times you'll see teams squib kick it. You don't sky kick it because you're really not gaining the benefit of the penalty. You sky kick it or you squib kick it to get the clock rolling. The clock rolls as soon as the ball hits the ground, and now you're taking off some of that clock.
Member fans around the stadium are the blue trash cans.
So 47 seconds, and it looks like the Centennial coaching staff is out on the field conferencing with head referee Brian Landis. Landis is going to go over and talk to
they're
Coach
taking
Mackey.
it into the half. They just went ahead and called it to go into the half with 47 seconds
now
left.
I'm wondering if this has anything to do with the fact that we don't have an ambulance here. The ambulance left.
Yeah, the ambulance just left.
And
right. And they have to stop play. So really, we're going to have a break with 47 seconds left because we can't have the contest until another ambulance is on the field. So even with halftime festivities coming for homecoming, this may be a unique situation where they allow homecoming to happen and us to go into the half just to take care of the ambulance situation.
So while we're waiting, we're going to get an announcement. So it looks like Centennial is going into the locker room. Stockdale is going to as well. I'm wondering if Centennial essentially conceded the 47 seconds right there to be able to get into the half. So at least with that, we're going to give you a couple of scores as the trucks are going to start to come by for homecoming for Centennial and give you a couple of scores before we take a timeout here on the Kern High Network. Frontier is ahead of Ridgeview 14-12.
Wow.
Kennedy, after playing a couple of very close games over the last few weeks and a bye week last week, has a 20-0 lead over Wasco in SSL play. No score out at Foothill as East is taking on Foothill. Tehachapi opens up a 21-7 lead over the Rebels at South High. Here's the score that I know you've been waiting for. No score in the first quarter. Bakersfield High School against Bakersfield Christian High School. So we've got
that sounds like some defense being played over there, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
And in Shafter, looks like Shafter's probably going to have a running clock as they're taking on McFarland. They've got a 28-0 lead before the half.
Man, the Generals are for real, man. I love my man Chris Dozier. He probably not listening to this game because he's probably at the Shafter game, but he's one of my Shafter aficionados. And guess what Julie dropped on me today? That one of our Renegade legends and Hall of Famers, David Deacon Turner, former Shafter General, is still the all-time leading rusher.
That's right. So with that, we gave you a few scores from around the area. We've got a halftime here at Centennial. It's going to be a little bit extended. We'll come back here in about 10 to 15 minutes to give you a little bit more of a preview, some scores from around the area. We're going to take a timeout here. It's 21-7, Golden Hawks over the Mustangs here at homecoming at Centennial High School on the Kern High Network. One of the guys that's been an integral part in the cabinet over there for the Kern High School District administration, Charles Young, on the receiving end, and that last pass is going to bring up fourth down for the Mustangs. He's about 2 yards short of the sticks, maybe even 3 yards.
Fourth down.
And we do have some area scores as well for you that we're going to update you with. Kennedy up big, 42-0 over Wasco. Frontier with a 35-12 lead over Ridgeview. And that's in the third quarter. It's non-league play right there. Frontier still has not opened up their River League competition so far. East High Blades up 20-7 over the Foothill Trojans out in Trojan land. And Witten right up the middle. And he's close to a first down. And this looks like this is going to be a first down. That was a heck of a run right there, Kenny. Again, taking it right out of the pistol, runs straight up and picks up 3 yards for the first down.
Amazing effort.
So if you guys can't necessarily see this, hopefully you guys can still hear it. I know we might be having some technical difficulties here on the broadcast, so we're going to try to do the best we can. And with that, we are going to have the end of the third quarter. So we're going to try to work out some technical difficulties here, get the camera working again as the Golden Hawks have a 31-7 lead over the Mustangs here on the Kern High Network.
The first runner-up, the juniors, and your winners for the 2023 Homecoming Performance Contest, the Tigers! Once again, your halftime performance winners, the class of 2024 Seniors!
All right, we are back here at Centennial High at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Mustangs give the ball to number 25, Manuel Sanchez.
Wow.
And Sanchez is going to be knocked out of bounds. And a big hit over there on the sideline. That was number 17 for the Golden Hawks, Jaden Hernandez. And I got to tell you, got a little bit of same blood running in my veins as Jaden Hernandez. That's a distant relative. We're fourth or fifth removed, but shout out to the Hernandez family.
Boy, I don't know how many times I've said wow tonight. I've seen some amazing individual plays. As broadcasters and commentators, it's hard to call lopsided games sometimes, but it's great when you see the effort continue.
Oh, and another big hit behind the line of scrimmage right there. That was number 25.
Oh, my God.
Denver Peebles. I'll tell you what.
I think that's his second play of the night like that.
Oh, man. Denver Peebles reminded me of Mario Van Peebles right there. my brother's keeper.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm telling you, I've got all kinds of them, partner.
Keep them coming.
I'll bring them all out.
Shotgun formation for the Stockdale Mustangs. Just trying to do something to build the confidence, and you can't pass if you can't protect.
Nope, and that's going to go down for a sack, and it's going to be a 4th and long right here, 4th and 20 for the Mustangs.
Partner, I guarantee you it's about 9,000 guys on the couch asking Stockdale, why y'all not passing the football, man? Y'all need to be passing it. We all just running it all night. That's why you're not passing the football. You can't protect.
If your man is under duress, how do you expect for him to be able to get that ball off? Because they've tried everything. They got number 10 back in there, Colton Kaiser, who is their leading passer. We had 909 yards coming into tonight's game. But just like you said, Coach Mackey knew that wasn't effective to have Kaiser in there. Had Christian Dalton in there for a lot of the game. And very partner BCHS has an 8-point lead over BHS in the third quarter.
Okay.
So still got some time as Santiago is taken down in the backfield for another loss. And that's, once again, number 6, Donovan Daniel.
Donovan Daniel getting it in. You love the effort out of a guy that's continuing to play with some passion for the Stockdale Mustangs. He's
given up probably about 8 inches. They're gonna have him get subbed out right there. Goodspeed's going to be coming in the game soon. And actually, that's not Goodspeed. That's Charles Young, the tight end for the Mustangs.
Shotgun double set.
Santiago
empty set.
Out of the shotgun. Santiago looks up, tucks, works to his left. He's got a little bit of room to run, and he's not going to get a first down. And he was actually stopped on that play. Nice tackle by number 18, Carlos Gonzalez.
Yeah, one of his blockers and receivers went down, so he had no choice but to try to make a play. But how about the character in Stockdale's defense, not giving up. Continuing to play with passion. That's all you can ask for as a young team, playing under a young staff. Continue to work, continue to get better.
So the turnover on downs right there. Stockdale's going to take over at their own 28-yard line.
One thing they're doing as well is avoiding the running clock. That's the second stop that they've gotten as the Golden Hawks have threatened.
I want to report another Kern High School District score. And it's a final in Lake Isabella as the Kern Valley Bronx beat Desert High 63-0.
Boy, I'm telling you.
Ever since we've seen them.
I guarantee you Aiden Madden had at least 150 tonight.
Shout out to the player of the game from a few weeks back as number 24, Caden Elliott for Stockdale picks up a first down. It's the first time they've converted for a first down on the first play of a series. So now we got number 13, Logan Gonzalez, who made a nice tackle in the last defensive set for the Mustangs. Gets no gain on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 41.
Yeah, Centennial's defense trying to do their best to keep that pressure on, but as you see some of these subs come in, everybody's adjusted.
And Shafter High has got about 3 minutes to go in their game. They're up 49-0 over McFarland.
Ooh.
And if you're keeping score at home, this would be the third time that Shafter would put up 50 points if they can get another score as the pass is completed out to number 22, Ben Spears. He's going to pick up about 7 yards. It'll be 3rd and 3 with just over 6 minutes to play in this game.
Man, they need to start bottling and selling Shafter water because there's been some ballers coming out of there over the last 5 years between Sundgren, between Dozier, and now they got new guys this year. I haven't even seen them
Marion Sloan, who could be playing Saturday football up on Panorama, and, of course, the great Ezekiel Osborne, the Wonder Boy sophomore quarterback who's got about close to 55 touchdowns or 50 touchdowns in his career so far over the last 2 years. The ball is handed off. It's time to number 24, Caden Elliott.
And partner, I guarantee you we probably got viewers saying, well, hey, guys, this is Centennial Stockdale. Let's talk about Centennial Stockdale. We want to. We need plays to be made. Make some plays. We'll talk about you all night. 4th and 1.
Definitely want to give kudos out to all of our Kern High School District schools that are out there.
I'm just joking, y'all. I'm just joking. You know, but 4th and 1, it's been a character contest in this full quarter.
Looks like Centennial's lined up offsides.
It does.
Didn't call it. Now we've got a penalty.
And you got to wonder if Landis called it.
So we got an illegal shift. That's
going to be turnover on downs, partner.
Yeah, that is going to be a turnover on downs after they decline the penalty with 4:43 remaining in the ball game. Centennial will take over on downs.
And again, you know, we like to have fun up here, but never kicking anybody while they're down. We know that Stockdale's a young football team. They've had some promise. You get high expectations when you beat a team like Kennedy, right? But when you start coming into league play, that's where the reality starts to set in and you kind of see where you are. And tonight is a great testament of Stockdale still being a young team, having some potential, but still having a long way to go offensively to be able to compete in the high-octane Southwest Yosemite River League.
Carry up the middle for Centennial is going to pick up about 7 yards. Trying to get a number as, like I said, we've got some backups that are coming in for Centennial. That was number 28, Francisco Corona for the Golden Hawks, as we still got number 5, Jet Santiago out there running quarterback as a sophomore, younger brother of Jackson Santiago, like we were saying, the Boston College commit, son of the freight train out of Arvin.
Yeah, some great football being played tonight, but nothing like highlighting the legacies that continue to happen, you know, from these families. I mean, we talked about the Sullivan family. Eamon was one of my favorite teammates and still one of my great friends, but we've had opportunity to call games for his sons throughout the past decade here at Centennial. So it's an honor to watch the family legacies continue in the Kern High Network environment as well.
So now Santiago with the keeper on third down. He's close to a first down. He might have been short. That was number 11. Good speed out there.
Man, and
chasing him down. That's pretty impressive for Goodspeed to be able to get out there on that red line and stop him from getting that first down. That's pretty quick, Jet Santiago.
As a college recruiter, one of my favorite things would be to pick a player from the losing team that I would give a scholarship to. And Goodspeed is probably that kid on that Stockdale defense based on the fact that he's continuing to play sideline to sideline, but has done so since the first snap.
Got a lot of eyes that end up watching some Saturday football up on the hills. We got a penalty before the snap, and this is going to be an offsides against Stockdale, so that's going to give the Golden Hawks a first down, and they're probably just going to start milking this clock out with 2:54 remaining in this ballgame. Got to give a shout-out to my alma mater, place that I call home every single day when I check in, East Bakersfield High School. They got a 41-14 lead over the Foothill Trojans. We've got a penalty for it's probably going to be an illegal shift against Centennial. False start is what it is, 5-yard penalty. And shout out to Coach BB Carrasco. We were talking, we get to talk every day at work. He had a tough schedule to begin the season, started 0-4, but knew that once he got to his league, he wasn't going to be playing any Division II, III teams anymore that were on his schedule early, and finally got to, where he's, again, we're playing Foothill, we're playing Miramonte. Now that we're in league, we're going to get an opportunity to see what we've got.
Yeah, BB's an experienced
former
coach.
Centennial assistant coach here.
Right, former Centennial assistant coach, former
Highland coach.
Former East High coach, but more than anything, he's a people person.
Former Renegade.
Yeah.
On the
Renegade.
88
right,
championship team.
National champ. But, my first encounter with BB was working in social services over 20 years ago. When I first retired from my playing career, he was one of my first administrators and professionals that helped me learn how to work with some of the toughest population in the state. So if you can get kids to be successful in those tough circumstances, you definitely can get guys to play a game of football.
That's right.
Kudos to Coach BB Carrasco.
Shout out. Hopefully we're going to get Kern High Network over to East High, where I do the public address over there and get to watch every home game from my perch. He's got the handoff to Corona up the middle. This is a first down, and Corona's got a little bit of space. He's hitting that circle button on the controller there, trying to spin out. Gets inside the 20-yard line, close to first down. Centennial had a first down there because Stockdale had an unsportsmanlike penalty called after the false start from the Golden Hawks. So it backed it up 5, but then marched it up 15 for a first down.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because they played a pretty clean contest from an emotional standpoint, even though they've been losing. But it's hard to lose a football game when it's your first league contest.
Corona cuts it up. We got a penalty, but Corona's inside the 5. We're going to see what this is. Head referee Brian Landis calls a holding against Centennial, so that's going to come back, and it's also going to stop the clock at 1:45. We're going to try to get as many scores to you guys as possible. And it looks like that's pretty much all the updates that I've got for you right over here.
Well, partner, I definitely want to ask you with 1:45 left to play. I'm kind of at a loss of picking a single player of the game when you've had a balanced attack from an offense that did everything it needed to do. And the way they did it was special because we came in here talking about my teammate's son, Santiago. He wasn't the guy tonight.
No, he wasn't.
Everybody else in the whole system finding a way to be consistent and get things done.
But the guy who's played pretty consistent on both sides of the ball has 2 touchdowns tonight. I think if I had to make my pick, it's the junior, number 7, Roland Myers, who's been the wide receiver and a strong safety that's been coming up from the safety position made a couple tackles at the line of scrimmage. As we got a third down for the Golden Hawks. So if it's my pick, and it's Roland Myers, number 7.
I definitely would love for you to have the pick. Roland, you got your ball on. Well deserved, young man.
That's a low snap picked up by Santiago on third down. He's going to roll out, and I think he's going to run right into good speed once again. We're going to find out. That's number 13 that made that tackle for the Mustangs, Logan Gonzalez. And I do want to give a quick shout-out also to Dr. Brenda Lewis. She was one of 4 recipients of the 2023 Kern County Equity Champion Award.
Oh, she won it with my man Traco.
Yes,
huh?
Mr. Traco Matthews, Pastor Traco Matthews.
Nice.
Friend of both of ours. Him and his wife, Jessica, are just amazing people. I like to call them the power couple of Bakersfield.
Absolutely. Last time I saw him was at the great Andre the Magician funeral.
Yes. Yeah, so congratulations, both Dr. Lewis and Pastor Traco. As Corona gets it up the sideline, and we've got another penalty. I tell you what, with no time remaining on the clock, we've got a holding penalty against Centennial, and that is going to do it. The final score here at homecoming for Centennial is 31-7 over the Mustangs to open up South Yosemite League River play. And the Golden Hawks are going to look to keep the winning waves rolling next week. But like you said, we do have a player of the game, and that's going to be?
It's going to be your man.
It's going to be our guy. Number 7 for the Golden Hawks, Roland Myers. Congratulations to the junior who outshined a lot of folks that are on this sideline for the Golden Hawks that are going to be playing on Saturdays for sure next year, including Jackson Santiago. It was a pleasure to see him, but I tell you, Coach Mackey's defense did a good job bottling him up, making him a non-factor, but you just can't stop everybody from the Golden Hawks.
Especially when you got an extremely dynamic offense coached by one of the best offensive minds in the central section in Costa Rica. He's always compared to these other schools in the area, right? You got Coach Nix, you got Coach Bandy. So he gets overshadowed by some of these names. However, when you step in between these lines, your guys better be ready to play, because if they're not, they're going to get embarrassed on the opposite side of the football, because that screen game that they have here look pretty dang special.
Look good, and they're going to take that show on the road for a non-league matchup against Highland at Scotland Yard next week. We'll see what they can do against Coach Gutierrez's team over there. And Stockdale is going to get another tough matchup at home this time, but it's going to be against the aforementioned Coach Nixon and his Liberty Patriots. So tough way to start the league here for Stockdale, but like you said, a young team. They're going to try to sharpen their skills up against the best. So
yeah, they'll get better. I mean, I'm proud of Coach Mackey. We saw some things that they were able to do to keep themselves in the game in moments. Unfortunately, you got a young football team, so mistakes come with that. They'll find a way to get better as time goes on, but definitely love the way that they came out to play the football game. As they continue to build themselves up, they'll get some follow-through and finish games the way they started.
Yes, they will. And, again, shout out to Coach Mackey doing a good job with his team. They fall to 3-3. Centennial improves to 4-2, and they're going to take a break in league play as they take on Highland next week. Again, we'd like to give a shout-out to Centennial's administration here, Principal Mr. Ryan Coleman. The assistant principals, Carrie Palacios and Nicole Oliver. Our athletics director and our food man tonight, Mr. Tom Haskell, the activities director, who put a fantastic performance by all of our classes here today for homecoming at Centennial, Ms. Jana Chapman. And once again, we do want to thank the superintendents at the Kern High School District, along with our director, Stan Green, and the director here as well. It was very, very, very cool to get to finally work with the legend Kevin Willey, who is going to be performing at the Coast. We might be running into my folks out there. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, this is Rob Chavez alongside Kenny Calvin. We will join you again next time, and that next time will be tomorrow, not on the Kern High Network, but on GoGaze.com, Kern AM 1180 and 96.1 FM. We'd like to invite all of our football fans out tomorrow. It's going to be nice weather, nice fall weather out for a tailgate. Come see the Renegades. They take on El Camino. So we're signing off here from Centennial High School as they win 31-7 over the Mustangs. Good night, everybody.